Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I just looking at the Dow Jones. It's obviously had a bit of a run. It might run up a little bit more, but you can sort of we do expect it to come back down and maybe you know maybe have a 1 or 2 day washout, come down, possibly retest that sort of green happy line or the blue happy line. That would be perfectly normal, and the market is certainly looking very, very bullish, but a little pullback would certainly be on the cards and not be expected after having such a decent run up. But I think any pullback to these moving averages, I think all it's going to do is give us another ideal buying opportunity. There is a lot of bullishness out there at the moment, and obviously, like we said before, with all this money coming out of the bond market, and I think all this money coming out of Europe, the Dow is an exciting place to be. Just having a look at what we've been up to at Equity Story, and what we did today, we put on TPG Telecom, and we're actually sort of trending Vocus a few months ago. It hasn't worked out for us. It's one of the few trends since we've opened that hasn't. And we sort of started sitting down with the analysts and going through Vocus and looking at this as a potential fantastic buy opportunity, which we think it is. However, we also at the same time thought, let's go and look at this TP Telecom. And after a lot of work, TPM it won the vote, and we wanted to get one of these stocks on, and we went for TPM. I think it's a very well run company. It's got good management. The earnings are the earnings growth is appears, I think, sort of FY17 around sort of 15, but it's got sort of pretty decent growth around sort of 5 to 10%, and I think they've got a really exciting possible development in tender they're tendering for at the moment in Singapore, which could be which potentially could really get this company moving again and get it back up to those sort of sort of back up to where it should be around. I think the sort of $8 or $9 range. We think this is a great company, and I think we're really lucky to be able to get back into it at this sort of level. The stock has come back. It's found support. It's starting to work its way up, and certainly I think if it can break that sort of 200-day moving average, I think this could be a pretty quick, hopefully a pretty quick recovery TPM. We've actually had. I'll show you a little thing. Actually, we're working on the new website at the moment. And it's going to be a fantastic website. But where we've got the results, we've got a nice little add-on which we put in where you can see how we've done on certain stocks. And I just put TPM, and TPM's actually been a really good little story for us. TPM, so we've already made 8. What's that? Sort of 11, 20. We've already made about 35% with TPG Telecom since we've had it on, and hopefully it'll be it's one of our lucky stocks. It'll be another sort of good move up, and we'll make more money with it. Funny enough, while I'm looking at it, one of the stocks we put on today as a trend, which was ORA. This is a company we've actually trended quite a few times in the past, and we've made 14. What's this? 14 here, about 20, 30. We've already made nearly 40% trending ORA. And just have a look at the stock we put on as a trend today. A little bit. Why do we like this? Obviously, you look at this trend. I think it's very, very, very exciting. It's come back here. It's got the forming a nice little MACD signal, a little buy signal. We like it. Like a lot of stocks recently, it's run hard. It's come back. It's holding that moving average. This company had really good earnings growth last year. They've implied it's going to be good growth again this year, and I think it could do a little bit better than what the market believes. They do have a lot of earnings tied into in the States. Obviously, interest rates going up in the States will be very, very good for this company. So yeah, we like them. The trend's good. They've got some pretty sort of solid earnings growth, and they're going to have a lot of earnings in US dollars. And I think again, hopefully, we're going to have another good move with ORA. And someone did call up today, and we're talking about sort of target prices, and I think somewhere around that sort of $3.05 would be certainly a realistic target price. So I think we've got a nice sort of 6-7% in ORA. it certainly looks. It's a great solid company. It looks very very good on those charts. Um, just having a quick look at some of the other stuff we're obviously charting at the moment. ALQ is obviously looking good. Hansen, what a company this is. Again, sometimes it does this. Hansen, it has these big sort of shakedowns, these moves. It had one this week, but it came back up really quickly. I mean, that sort of little rocket candle looks actually quite bullish. Sort of, you can see it's done that before. Did it back in August last year. So obviously we like Hansen. We're big believers. Again, I'll bring this. Sorry, this is my new little toy. I like playing with this. What have we done with Hansen before? See, Hansen's been a good little trender for us. So what we've done with Hansen, we made 10, 17, 22, 30, what's that? 35% we made on trending Hansen. So I think you do have to be a little bit patient with Hansen. It can sometimes be a little bit slow, but again, really really happy to be in the stock. It's a good stock, and we do expect it obviously to move up and at least retest this sort of 450 level. Just before I go tonight, just have a quick look at what's happening here on these 3-year growth stories. And again, we're saying the other day, buy Appen again. What have we done? We've got on board these sort of trend lines. How I think lucky we were to get back into Appen at this sort of 250 level, and bang, she's had a really good move up today. Adasol again, it's another great stock we like. And what's important? I think again, look at GTK, record highs. In a market where the 3-year growth stories have been sold off, and a little buy signal. There you go, a buy signal and record highs. This should go for a run tomorrow. Go for a run next week. Looks very 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 good. Quite remarkable where in a section that's been really sold off, and it keeps on making money for us. So GTK is looking an absolute beauty. And again, good to see over the wire up 8%, and just a little bit. Possibly this is a little bit of movement. We have had this real sort of tectonic shift out of these sort of growth stories into sort of so-called blue chips like the banks, and maybe the tide's turning. Maybe now, as you can see, we were having a look at those. We were having a look when we had the charts the other day at the small odds, and maybe now they come back. They're finding a little bit of support. Maybe this will be the sign they're going to march on now. And I do think, again, I was listening to, like I said the other day, I was listening to that great analyst Montgomery, and I've got so much time for the guy. I think he's a superb chap, and again, I think people will be running back into growth stories fairly soon. I think once they, a lot of this movement, I think, into some of these banks is a little bit of a fear. I think people, our market has had a really good move up recently. The banks have a lot to do with that, but I think it is a little bit of a fear play. And like I was talking to Peter the comments today, are brilliant analysts, and banks have got anemic growth at best over the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, really, apart from a div, why'd you really be that interested in them? So I think the market will come back and common sense will prevail, and I think these really good growth stories with good earnings growth and great little companies will start again, hopefully accelerating next year. That's all I've got to say tonight on Equity Story. I look forward to bringing you this report as always on Monday, and have a good night. Good night.